and drivers who continuously breach road rules will be penalized. However, the LTA will undertake a three-stage process, which includes written warnings, counseling sessions and a license suspension.
The Land Transport Authority is putting in place a system to effectively address drivers who continue to reoffend. For those who have accumulated over or close to 30 traffic infringement notices, their future behind the wheel is currently under scrutiny.
We, in fact, have identified 50 drivers already, and we have issued them with warning letters. And as part of that process, we have also make it compulsory now that we will begin calling in drivers that have accumulated over 40 traffic infringement notices. This is just to caution them and to advise them on the danger of losing their license.
Drivers can face a suspension term from 3 months up to 12 months.
The process is continuing from the day this task was executed about a month ago. The process is continuing. Once we have identified the 30 drivers with the drivers with 30 traffic infringement notice, the warning is written to them.
The LTA will not tolerate those who continue to reoffend.
The bottom line is for LTA to suspend or terminate their driver's license. There are procedures that we need to undertake, we need to follow in terms of working within the confines of the law, and the process, in fact, a 7 days notice that is given to those that have been identified is currently being undertaken.
The top 5 committed offences by reoffending drivers include overspeeding, driving whilst on mobile phones, driving without seat belts, drink and careless driving, illegal parking, and failure to obey double lanes rules while driving. Apisalome Rambo, FJ1 News.
Yesterday was International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia, and the Methodist Church of Fiji says the day serves as a reminder to continue opening its doors to people of all walks of life, irrespective of their personal choice of lifestyle.
I think the main thing for the church is that person. It's that person that we are after, and whatever morality or whatever they are doing, that's the secondary part of it. So we deal with the human beings, which we believe are created in God's image, and well, if they have difficulties in their own lives, the church is open for them.
Nawandra says it is the duty of any denomination to assist people.
The church is open for anybody, class or creed. It's open for anybody in the world, because that is the message that really didn't go down well with the church leaders during Jesus' time. When Jesus came, he was friends of all these other people, and the church, the leaders then did not agree with that, and that's probably why they took him to the cross.
A biological trickling filter was commissioned at the Kinoya sewage treatment plant this week. For the past 40 years, the sewage plant has been serviced by 2 filters, despite increasing demand. Now, with the addition of the new facility, sewage services should improve.
At the turn of the wheel, the rotating distribution moves, signaling a new era in solid and organic waste management for the Suva-Nosori corridor.
As you know, the population has increased in the Suva-Nosori corridor, and this area of operations, the wastewater services, were somewhat left behind in terms of infrastructure development. So now we're doing things like the trickling filters, then we'll add on another secondary clarifier, and the SBR plant on the other side of the site that we will recommission, so that it caters for the population demand in terms of wastewater services here in the Suva-Nosori corridor.
The filter is designed to provide a biological treatment to remove solid and organic waste in wastewater collected from individual household sewerage systems.
It's over $4 million. We are thankful to ADB for the loan that they've given the government. This is part of it. So we're not only doing the trickling filter, as you see behind me also there's a gas flare. We're burning methane gas as part of the green initiative that the government has initiated with ADB and the environment authorities in the UN.
Natuva says apart from the sewerage project, the Bainimarama government had provided the Water Authority of Fiji a total of 130 million this year for the construction and improvement of water, sewerage and sanitation schemes around the country.
It means, we can connect more people into our wastewater network. Right now, only about 30% of the Suva residents are connected to our wastewater network. The rest have septic tanks, We want to get them to connect to the system. And if we are doing that, we need to be able to increase the capacity where all these are this wastewater is being received and treated.
It took Fletcher Construction Limited 6 months to complete the project. Apisolom Rambo, FJ1 News.
A biological trickling filter was commissioned at the Kinoya sewage treatment plant this week. For the past 40 years, the sewage plant has been serviced by 2 filters, despite increasing demand. Now, with the addition of the new facility, sewage services should improve.
At the turn of the wheel, the rotating distribution moves, signaling a new era in solid and organic waste management for the Suva-Nosori corridor.
As you know, the population has increased in the Suva-Nosori corridor. And, this area of operations, the wastewater services, were somewhat left behind in terms of infrastructure development. So now we're doing things like the trickling filters, then we'll add on another secondary clarifier. And the SBR plant on the other side of the site that we will recommission so that it caters for the population demand in terms of wastewater services here in the Suva-Nosori corridor.
The filter is designed to provide a biological treatment to remove solid and organic waste in wastewater collected from individual household sewerage systems.
It's over $4 million. We are thankful to ADB for the loan that they've given the government. This is part of it. So we're not only doing the trickling filter, as you see behind me also there's a gas flare. We're burning methane gas as part of the green initiative that the government has initiated with ADB and the environment authorities in the UN.
Natuva says apart from the sewerage project, the Bainimarama government had provided the Water Authority of Fiji a total of 130 million this year for the construction and improvement of water, sewerage and sanitation schemes around the country.
It means, we can connect more people into our wastewater network. Right now, only about 30% of the Suva residents are connected to our wastewater network. The rest have septic tanks, We want to get them to connect to the system. And if we are doing that, we need to be able to increase the capacity where all these this wastewater is being received and treated.
It took Fletcher Construction Limited 6 months to complete the project. Apisolom Rambo, FJ1 News.
And still with our entertainment industry, the All Black Home 2014 Reconnect Tour will once again be held this year at the Royal Suva Yacht Club. Scheduled for July 7th this year, there are plans for an added attraction. Apisolom Rambo with the details.
These musicians will be amongst those who will light up the Suva nightlife come July the 7th. This event is carrying on from the Reconnect Tour that was held here in Suva, organized by the Sydney and Fiji Music Association, in a bid to recognize the growth of the music industry here in Fiji.
Our homegrown talent in Fiji, as we all know, has been around for many, many years. Recognition has not been too forthcoming, and we hope that this particular event will be an annual event that will allow us to showcase not only our musicians of old, but to create an event that will also introduce the youth into music.
Hazelman says proceeds from the event will go towards the underprivileged of our communities, as in last year's $10,300 profit that was given to St. Giles Hospital. With sponsors like some major media outlets here in Fiji, the event is already attracting household names.
In Fiji, we have the likes of our very own Tom Maui. We cannot start anything in Fiji without Tom. Tom has been a mainstay of music also, like Mr. Jansen, and of course Mr. Jansen. And we have young musicians that are coming in to perform.
The Fiji Rugby Union have also come in as a partner, when the Flying Fijians team and the Italian national team, who will play a test match earlier on in the day, will drop in to spice up the night event.
Two things I think in Fiji, I think we just naturally have a lot of talent, is sports and music. I think, we automatically have that thing in our blood. So I think what we like to take this opportunity of some kind of having a good night out and also showcasing some of the new and the old.
1,000 tickets having been printed for this year's All Back Home 2014 that will be held at the Royal Suva Yacht Club. Apisola Merambo, FJ1 News.
The Food and Agriculture Organization have stepped in to help government improve the quality of data collected on our agriculture and rural sector. This initial phase of the project includes collecting current national statistics to establish the quality of products from our agriculture sector. Apisola Merambo with the details.
3 out of 4 people in developing countries like Fiji live in rural areas, and most of them rely directly or indirectly on the agriculture sector for their livelihoods. Having up-to-date statistics in this area is therefore vital for long-term government policy direction.
The nature of the project is to try and identify where there are improvements needed in the statistical quality of the data and to recommend ways of achieving those improvements.
Nichols says donor support has also been lacking in this area. Climate change and environmental impacts also noted.
In terms of funding globally, $25 million is being provided by the UK government. It's a substantial amount. We're talking about...
For Fiji or South Pacific?
No, this is for a 5-year project over in Asia Pacific. So we're talking 20 countries. We're doing intensive work. There's no set budget for each country. It will depend on what we find when we go there, what's needed in terms of improving the data.
Better coordination between the National Statistics Office and the Ministry of Agriculture has also been identified as area to be worked on. The non-coverage of agricultural statistics in national statistical plans also cited.
You need to know from the start what is the current situation, and then to be able to monitor that and evaluate the strategies the government have put in place to see how effective they've been.
This global strategy by FAO is an initiative of the United Nations Statistical Commission. Apisola Merambo, FJ1 News.
The upcoming August Methodist Church Annual Conference will be held in conjunction with the Church's 50 years Jubilee celebrations. This will be a chance for the Church to reflect on half a century of its development in the country. Apisola Merambo with that story.
It's a significant year for the Methodist Church in Fiji. 2014 marks the commemoration of its initial separation from the Australasia Methodist Division. Throughout its congregational divisions here in the country, celebrations have already been carried out. On top of the agenda, the issue of reconciliation, which will culminate in the significant feet-washing process during the Jubilee celebrations.
Yes, the reconciliation process, our attempt was to try and start with the church. The church has gone through some turbulent times, in the past 50 years. We have had a coup within the church. We have had, some separations. We have said goodbyes to others, who have gone on to make, to build a new congregation.
Nawandra says the journey for the past 50 years was not easy for the church, and these internal conflicts warrants an amicable solution.
Our plan now is it will take a whole day for all the ministers to come and be together, and the president will do feet washing or whatever process that the committee will come up with when the time comes.
Nawandra added a concerted effort by all lay members of the church is needed, in particular to come together and forget about the issues that has divided them in the past.
Because the past shapes some of what we have. We need to learn from that and bring it on, and then continue the process, that it will not happen again, hopefully.
Nawandra says there will have to be unity in the church in order for the body to have a strong voice. The Methodist Church Annual Conference Mbosya Koviti will be held in August. Apisola Merambo, FJ1 News.
A two-day government roadshow ended today at Lasilebu in Eitasiri. Works Minister Timothy Lesi Natuva told people in the area this roadshow is aimed at making government services not just accessible to rural communities but also more efficient.
The 3-hour drive to Lasilebu in the interior of Naitasiri did not deter the efforts of these government officials as they gathered here in the Wainimala Secondary School grounds to witness the dawn of a new morning.
Nabagananu kena kawai na vingaravi kemuni ele ni bonua ya buta kena kawai ni matintu ena kena segni ndau edo kemuni mai na vingaravi. Mai bagari tengango na road show, mai bakau satu konochi. sana kai chigo na bakanana ni matentu membele tena kena tete ani me oni ka ku ni ngole sombu me kima mi ngole mai.
Natuva says the interior of Namosi and Nandronga will soon benefit by having their own government stations and offices as a result of information gathered from similar roadshow government projects such as this one in Laselevu.
Nina reda sa kaniko nira biya tiko todo saranga na bitambana ni matentu. Ramai bakilata chunga nambong ina ndendre ni chigo na bonongo. Berkaumai lang mai ngoni sala ndendre ni ngoni sala ndendre no takusoma na wai ndendre ni batambata. Kaumai mermai rauni wakila na kakataka mamatentu na daba na ndendre etigo na tubono turanga.
The people of the Vanuo Naivisera in the province of Naitasiri are here to witness for themselves the 2014 government roadshow. It is an opportune time to see for themselves all the services provided by ministries that have erected their tents here at the Wainimala Secondary School's ground this morning. Hands-on services like birth registrations, LTA license registration, tertiary scholarship services, and marriage registration were readily available.
Ikana didi tiwa na matentu ngo kina ndone ngo lako bo menda rauni kalawadani na lomani be ngone ni bensingi kina be ngone satu mailiu.
The 2014 Laselevu government roadshow concludes today. Apisalom Rambo, FJ1 News.
About 20 families of Langi settlement and G2 settlement have been issued with eviction notices. But according to the NGO that will develop housing in the area, residents have been given ample time to respond to the notices. Apisalam Rambo with the details.
People's Community Network Director Semiti Ngalawasa did not mince his words today. According to him, they have followed all legal procedures in issuing Langi residents eviction notices.
So, by asking the advice of the lawyer, what we can do is that we can go in, and because they don't want to move, we can demolish their homes, but we won't be demolishing it in a manner that is inhumane. We'll just take it down nicely and tell them, okay, this is your move. Or the other option that we can go for is the court order.
The network is hoping good sense will prevail. Ngalawasa says if the complainants insist a court order be issued, they will do all necessary arrangements.
But because none of them came back to us after the 7 days notice, none of them came back to say, okay, we will go for this, we will challenge you, or those. So that is why I gave another notice on, I think, yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday, that I told them, on the 29th, we'll be demolishing your homes. So even though we mentioned that, we didn't go in and demolish any homes.
According to People's Community Network Fiji, they have followed all legal procedures to issue eviction notices to people here in Langi settlement. But to the people themselves, some of whom their houses have been recently pulled down, their future here is uncertain relative to the dilemma they are finding themselves in.
We have contributed in buying this land, and together with the help of the Methodist Church, we have managed to contribute and buy this land. And we request the present government and the stakeholders to please don't give us notices and push us out from this land.
And contrary to statements by the People's Network, complainant says they have been treated unfairly.
I have seen that the People's Community Network is trying to forcefully evict us out of this land. So we have approached the Prime Minister's office, and we have been told from the Prime Minister's office that lawful action will be taken against you people. It's not that somebody comes overnight and chase you people out from here.
According to Ngalawasa, those living in the Langi area will be the first ones to move into new homes once the area is developed. Apisalom Rambo, FJ1 News.
The people of Naitasiri have been reminded to make full use of the newly implemented government free education scheme. Minister for Works, Transport and Public Utilities, Timothy Natuva, says all that's needed for them is to send their children to school.
Minister for Works, Transport and Public Utilities, Timothy Natuva, urging the people of Naitasiri to make full use of government's free education assistance scheme.
Sa chiusa kina ng boleh weekenda. Kaya baka dari beir na kau tamata taleso. E baka rator bukan bimbi na bibugi ni matintungo membaleta na huli.
Natuva says the onus is on the people of the province to work together using a corporate attitude.
Sanggay may na bibugi ni matintu.
Natuva reiterated his message by sending a more personal plea to his own people.
O keda to nei tasiri, o keda ngoni nei tasiri mera buli toro da ke mera maya doba keda na university. Kebakai orai e sana mau na bebu ke kau tsu mena matentu weekend.
The 2014 Laselevu government roadshow was the first for the Naitasiri province. Apisalo Merambo, FJ1 News.